Hello everybody, Christian from Treasure Town here, and today I'm super thankful to have this handful of coins with me. Basically, these coins I just found out of a dumpster. I've had time to shower off, but was basically an unboxing that is absolutely insane. So I received a package, and I thought that there were only going to be copper coins in it, and so I've got plenty of those ready to show on camera. But I get the copper coins, and I know what they're supposed to cost, and so I send over and I say, hey, I tell the dealer, look, like, really enjoy the copper. If you ever have the hammered, I'm still super interested in hammered British silver, and think about the time difference. So that's right before I go to bed, go to sleep, and he's like, look, there were some hammered silver in that bag, and I'm of course extremely worried because I knew I threw out all of the packaging, and so it is going to be in a dumpster. Unfortunately, I was correct in terms of what I thought had happened. Fortunately, the coins were still there. So after digging through a bunch of fairly disgusting trash, it was not like my pail of garbage was on top, was able to locate mine and pulled these out. So a miracle of a coin find. I had mentioned this on Whatnot prior to filming this video, and people were like, you have to sell these coins as the dumpster find provenance. So I think that that's going to add zero value to it, but a beautiful mix of what I believe is 30 silver hammered coins from England, and then we've got some great copper as well. It's actually, I started putting it together. They're not like super high grade, but they're often King George III, who's the king of America, when America was a colonial possession. So that's pretty interesting to me. Anyways, we should show off the coins. Feeling thankful, and moral of the story is always confirm exactly what you're getting in the packages before they're sent to you. I had no idea these were coming and had discarded of it. Not the best idea, but all's well that ends well. We've got the coins, and it's time to open them on camera. I've printed out some, I've looked at these coins to make sure that they were all there, and I've printed out a bunch of labels, so I'll probably flip these up into those labels, then we'll do a mini unboxing. So should be fun. So here are the coins after they've been recovered and then, of course, inventoried and put into Treasure Town flips. I wanted to show off, really excitedly, all of what we have here. It's basically a bunch of, call it, 1500s to 1600s, right up until the English Civil War. There's a little bit of 1400s hammered silver coins, which are really incredible. And I'll just kind of take you through some of them. We have to think about the English Civil War, which is going to happen in about 1643. This is going to be a halfpenny from Charles I, who is executed in 1649 after the Royalists lose to the parliamentarians in the English Civil War. Here, a bit earlier, we have Queen Elizabeth I. This one would have been minted towards the beginning of her reign, around 1560, 1561, and she's the last of the Tudors. Protestantism super firmly established, but fairly broad in terms of how much they make people, believe in a Protestant Christian faith, so that they wouldn't have as much instability. Here is another King Charles I. And again, there's going to be that breakout of the English Civil War around 1640, 1642, I want to say. I actually have some other interesting English coinage coming in from the Civil War there. This one is going to be King Charles II. Oh, I hadn't realized that. So that's after, and that's interesting. I haven't had quite as much Charles II hammered currency. We've got King James, who I'm a little less knowledgeable. I guess it's like the Stuart time. He's the son of Mary, and he has the gunpowder plot during the early part of his reign in 1605 to assassinate him. We've got another of his early types, and I'm not exactly sure why he just, he doesn't appear on some of those, but I've seen that motif. And then over here, similar, again, don't have the face of James on there. Back to probably earlier, or I guess later, King Charles, I was thinking it was going to be, you can see the 2 to the side clearly showing the denomination as a 2-pence coin. Similar situation right there, Carolus, King Charles. This is going to be a half groat. So a groat would have been 4 pennies. I think we get some groats later on here. But again, a couple more of these 2 pence should be a lot of Elizabethan silver, as you can see in front of us. And then there's a couple. So Charles I, beautiful types. Then we get to the 3 pence, where instead of having 3, it's almost like this little rose. That's going to be of Elizabeth. These have some clear dates, which is kind of nice, 1567 and 72. And then some of them are obviously a little bit more worn. That one is a overdate, 78/7, which is interesting. Reminds me of a lot of the U.S. Currency. And then we do have, this one is interesting. It's like an Irish strike under King Henry VIII, which is pretty sweet. Struck after his death, but approximately 1509 to 1547, and would love to get a couple more of his types in. Then we have some larger. This is going to be I believe 6 pence, and then ultimately we've got the 12 pence, the shillings. There we have a large. That looks like King Charles. I think these are all Charles. Yeah, Charles I, shillings, and then last but not least, we have these 2 Queen Elizabeth tuppence. So that's the silver paid. I want to say something like $1,250 or so. The rest cost me about $350, and these are a little bit lower grade. I'll probably go through them fairly rapidly, but you've got the big cartwheel pennies. There's a lot of shortages of these types of coins at the time. They're all 1797. These come after, Condor tokens, mostly 1780s to 1795 or so. And then there's a couple of, this is like in between, trying to relieve, 1799. And then you also get into, it's probably a bit further down, like 1806. So they continue to coin throughout that period, but then you see a lot less, which then causes the reemergence of kind of local currencies with the 1810s. And so similarly, we have a fair amount. There's an Irish type, but a bunch of different 1800s kind of imperial Georgian currency. There's King William, 1826, a farthing. And then you have a little bit here of older, often without date, though I think these do have 1737. Some of the King George II, who comes in I think like 1728 to about 1760. King George III rules from 1760 and oversees our freedom. There's earlier. Oh, that's actually not King George. I think this one's a William. Anyways, the rest of these are George. There's George the Fourth in 1826, and then William the Fourth shortly after. So interesting mix. Looks like we got one French coin thrown in there at about $1,500. Seems like a good place to be in the coins. I don't know. I'm excited. It's fun to get the English hammered stuff in. It's not stuff that I get all the time, and I'd certainly like to expand. I'm also tracking some other interesting coins coming in, so I think I'll probably release this video as one, but then we have a couple of big like multi-coin unboxings that may have even released before I film this. I'm going to get ready to film those, so I'll see you on some of those videos going forward. Thanks for watching the video. Make sure to head on over to treasuretown.com and sign up for our email list to stay up to date on everything that's happening, whether it's auction updates, exciting new inventory drops, coin collecting news, or general informational resources. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on another one.